Hi, good morning. I'm sorry I can't be in Copenhagen with you. I would really love to be there, but it's around 3 a.m. in the place where I am, and I think I'm likely sleeping. So if you think where in the world is around 3 a.m., well, I'm in Mexico City. But why I'm here is because in 2012, 2014, I was also a master's student in sustainable energy at DTU. Afterwards, I did not want to leave DTU. I really like it. I was not missing Spain, my home country, and I got used to the cold weather. So I decided I wanted to start working as a research assistant in the Energy Systems Analysis group at DTU in Rizzo. And afterwards, a few months later, I decided to start my PhD also in energy systems analysis, and I was working with mathematical modeling of energy systems using the model Palmorel. So maybe some of you also know me because I was a teacher in some of the courses of the Master in Sustainable Energy. But a few months ago, at the beginning of May, I left Denmark and I left DTU with a lot of sorrow. But I joined a very exciting project in Mexico, which is, I will show you some slides. I'm sorry it has to be this way, but I did not manage to record a better video, or I didn't have the camera. And I am so sorry if I make mistakes, but I have no time for rehearsal. So I hope you still find useful what I'm going to share with you. So this is a partnership program between Mexico and Denmark for energy and climate change. And this program is implemented through the Danish Energy Agency. So, well, maybe here you see a lot of logos. These are all the partner institutions that cooperate with this program. So this program is implemented through the Danish Energy Agency with the funding from DANIDA, that is the Danish Development Agency, which belongs to the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And they have a partnership with the Mexican Ministry of Energy, the Mexican Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, and the Mexican TSO, the Institute for Ecology and Climate Change, and some energy efficiency institutes also. So well, I'm going to show you first a little of this type of programs. Again, I go with the laptop. So these are all, I don't know if you can see the red dots, these are all the countries where the Danish Energy Agency is working. And they cover 60% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. So in all these countries, there is some kind of partnership between Denmark and the countries in order to accelerate, to go green, to go faster, to go together, and to share experience and to share knowledge. So what I'm doing here is I'm working within the core Danish strength competence in energy. And these competences are some of the ones we are all learning during our masters at DTU, and we are actually becoming world experts within those competences. And some of them, I will show them here, are long-term energy scenarios. So that's the reason why at DTU we have a lot of courses related with energy modeling, and they are very important because we can build storylines that help countries to achieve their transition in a more cost-efficient way. We are also working in integration of higher shares of renewable energy, and I think Denmark is a front runner, a world leader in how to integrate very high shares of renewable energy, of variable renewable energy, of wind. And we are also working with energy efficiency. So these are some of the core competences we learned during our studies, and we really use them, we apply them, and we share with our Mexican counterparts what's the best we have learned. And I wanted to show you something also a little more specifically about my role here. So here I'm a long-term advisor, and I'm actually located in the Mexican Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, and I can show you maybe some slides of the place where I am. This is like I am in a very high building, 19th floor, so here I am almost every day. The rest of the days I'm around the city, like going around. And there I coordinate several projects that deals with energy and climate change mitigation. Also with a lot of relationship with the Mexican Ministry of Energy. And there are a lot of consultants that work in the project, so I have to follow up what they do. We need to design with them, or Mexican counterparts, what we want to do. Then we have some terms of reference. Then we call publicly for consultants to work with us, and then we develop together a project that afterwards is used for the Mexican authorities. As here, our work is anchored in the ministers. This is a lot of work is technical assistance to provide them tools for decision support so that they can design efficient policies in their climate change mitigation. So some of the things I'm doing, just to put you some examples, and also some of the course maybe you had, or how can the knowledge that you got be useful. So for example, this is a work I actually did the previous year also as a consultant. So we are working with the Mexican Ministry of Energy, and we are trying to find out how the energy system might look like in the future under different circumstances, because we don't know what might happen in the future. So we actually work with energy models, and we have a Mexican version of Balmoral. Maybe some of you are using the Danish or the Nordic one, or from, I don't know, other country. So we also have a Mexican version of Balmoral, and it looks like this. I have also been doing some trainings for the Mexican authorities. And then, for example, one of the cases we did last year was to find out, okay, what will happen if the natural gas price increases? The energy system might look like this is the most optimal way to transition towards 2030, for example. But what happens if the natural gas price increases? Because currently Mexico is importing gas from the United States. The United States might be able to export more gas to Southeast Asia that is able to pay a higher price. So then the scenario shows that a diversified energy matrix will be much more beneficial for Mexico. And this type of a scenario went actually into public documents, and published by the government, like the Mexican Electricity Outlook. So these documents are available online all around the world in an official governmental web page. So everybody can see it, and everybody can see it. How can Mexico have a stronger energy system by diversifying their matrix? So that was kind of the technical assistance we provide to the government. So we provide a tool also for discussion for politicians. We also have now more projects dealing more with the climate aspect, with the climate component of the project. So for example, we are now costing all the national determined contributions, that are the contributions that the countries submit to the Paris Agreement. Like Mexico said, okay, I think by 2030, I want to mitigate 22% compared to how my baseline will be. So we are like, okay, how can we do it? There are a lot of possible pathways. But of course, we always want to find out the most cost-efficient pathway, and the pathway that can bring more also social benefits. Maybe jobs, maybe equality, also maybe clean air, all of this. So we try to find out what type of measurements could Mexico have, and how much it will cost. And then Mexico can prioritize that. So that's one of the activities we have. How it works, we have a team of consultants that work on it, and we supervise, we guide it, and we support them in all the process. Other projects that we are currently working, and we are in a hurry because we have to finish before December. It's an update of their national strategy for climate change, which is also very much related to all the countries that agree with the Paris Agreement, that they need to present a mid-century strategy before 2020. That means that they have to show publicly how they are going to achieve what they think they are going to achieve, and how their energy system, but not only the energy system, but the rest of the sectors that emit greenhouse gas emissions, so that they have the possibility to mitigate, are going to do it. They need to show a pathway. How will it be possible? So we are supporting Mexico, we are supporting the Mexican Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources to do this task, to find out what action lines they should have, to also try to find out and sketch what is the international context, the national context, what type of policies have they implemented, what type of policies they should implement. And this will be finished soon by December. We are starting, for example, also very soon another activity which is about the technology roadmaps and mitigation potential of electricity storage technologies. So there are a lot of countries that have a very high share of variable renewable energy, but in reality, if we make the analysis and if we want to achieve a well below 2-degree scenario, we really need extremely high shares of renewable energy in the electricity sector. and in the energy sector in general, because there are some emissions which are much more difficult to mitigate or to avoid. So how can we do it? So it seems that a few years ago electricity storage was something very far, but now it's there, now it's happening. Now we see that it's closer in the future, so we need to design and we need to try to find out how we can do it. So these are the type of activities we do. So as you can see, the technical knowledge we acquire at DTU was really important to be able to perform this type of task and to support Mexico and any other countries in achieving their transition, in achieving climate mitigation in a cost-efficient way, and also bringing other type of benefits. And right here, apart from the technical side, I also need to participate in a lot of events. Like for example, last June I had the chance to participate, well, I don't know how well you can see the photo, in the EU Climate Policy Week. There is actually a EU delegate that works with climate and that goes all around the countries trying to put in contact, for example, like European companies with projects with needs in the countries where they go. And we present the project we are working with. For example, I'm also in contact, in permanent contact and in collaboration with other development agencies. Here we have a photo of a donors meeting. And for example, we do collaborate with the German cooperation agency, with the French agency, with the British agency. So we all know the strengths of each other. For example, the British agency has a very big strength in financing, and we work together. And it's also important to find out what they are doing, how we could cooperate so that we don't replicate or double our work, and we use the resource we have in the most cost-efficient way. So that's also some of the job I have. And then we also have, for example, this is a steering committee of the project in which I'm working, where we have to achieve agreements. We are together with, for example, the Danish ambassador in Mexico, with most of the vice ministers of the energy ministry and the climate ministry, with people from a lot of different institutions, and we try to achieve agreements and we try to decide which will be the priorities of the project and how we will do it and the timing. And I was asked by Mattia and Juan, well, I was given a few questions or some guidelines I could answer. So what my education at DTU provided me, it did provide me a very solid technical background that is needed to perform the job properly. Because I can give answers, I know how it is possible, I can use tools, for example, energy models, to help to provide more solid answers. It also helped me a lot to be in an international environment, because now, for example, I'm not from Mexico, I'm from Spain. I was living more than 6 years in Denmark, and now I have to work in a Mexican context, which is different. So, but at DTU, you have the chance to work in teams, you need to agree things, and in the team you are with people from different backgrounds, from different nationalities, and that's a really important thing. And well, what skills I was lacking, or what I would have liked to learn the most, I did some small figures here. So of course at DTU we get a very solid engineering background. We are amazing at doing calculations, at doing technical things. But I remember I had a course on energy economics, and everybody was like, whoa, I'm an engineer, I don't have to know about numbers. I don't have to know about like economy. And that's actually really, really important. So I use my engineering knowledge, but then it has to be the cheapest thing. And I also need to take into account other economic considerations. I would have also maybe liked to learn a little more about policies. This is very important because we need to help to design a proper regulatory framework so that actually the calculations we do can be translated to proper policies and taking into account the economy. And maybe I should have also learned, or maybe that's something I should have learned before joining DTU, is patience. It's necessary to achieve a consensus with people that might have different views, different backgrounds, different expectations, and that's challenging. So I think that will be the things I would have liked to learn the most. And now if I could change something, I really enjoy every course I took at DTU. Every course teach me like really important things, but maybe I will have focused even more in the economy and policy part of what can you do as an engineer. So I'm going to say goodbye. I hope I'm sleeping at that time. But this is what I'm doing now. If you have any question, you can send me a mail. And apart from working very hard, we also have times to have some fun, to support Mexico, to integrate in the country, to make new friends, and to drink tequila. So I hope you have an amazing conference, that you have the chance to know what your colleagues are doing or what you want to do in the future, and that you get inspired. Bye.